YouTube, and yeah, we'll get started with it in just a second. Okay, great. So here we are live on YouTube once again. A very warm welcome to everyone and thank you for joining. Today's topic of discussion is going to be on law of attraction. We're going to discuss how it works and what might be blocking the law of attraction or our manifestation if we're already using it in our lives. Okay, so just like the law of gravity or the law of thermodynamics and other laws of physics, we have the law of attraction. And I know it's not taught in schools yet, but it's something that is around us all the time. We're like little magnets attracting into our life experiences, circumstances, events, and people who are like us, who are on the same frequency as us, or at least some part of them resonates with some part within us. Okay, so the law of attraction simply states that you attract what you desire. Okay, sounds simple. Okay, but you might ask, well, then if I desire a high paying job, then why am I not getting it? Or why am I not being able to attract that into my life? Or why is it that despite the fact that I desire moving to, say, a particular country, I'm not able to attract that experience into my life? So let's understand desire over here. Okay, desire is either the willingness for something or the willingness to not have something. Okay, or we can put it in a percentage format as to how much percent do we want something. Okay, so for example, I might have a desire for security and I can also have a desire for freedom at the same time. So now security and freedom are kind of different. Okay, so I'll have to balance it out for me and see how much security and how much freedom I want. I might want 50% security, 50% freedom, or I might want 90% security, 10% freedom if I'm more of a fixed kind of person, don't like many changes or surprises. I might want 30% security and 70% freedom, say if I'm the kind of person who doesn't want to be chained down to any situation and just wants to experience more things in life, right? So, whatever I want, nothing is right or wrong, it's just a personal preference. Okay, and so if one wants a high paying job, okay, but also has the desire for, say, not taking up some X amount of responsibility, then the desire of not taking responsibility might be coming in the way of attracting that job. Or if, say, one desires to move to a different country but actually doesn't feel comfortable in mixing up with new people or has the desire to speak only to familiar people, then that might be coming in the way of making a move abroad. And while it's easy to see in these examples, what are the desires that could be stopping one from achieving their primary desire, which is either a high paying job or moving into a different country, in real life, mostly the opposing desire is more subtle and are many more in number, and it might not be so easy to identify them so simply. And so what can you do about it? Okay, what can you do to attract all that you want while also knowing that there could be some desires that could be coming in the way? The very first thing I would say is you just simply start your manifestation process. Okay, manifestation means to bring into reality what you desire, what you want, right? So how to bring that into your reality with the law of attraction is by first setting your intention around what you want to achieve. Okay, it could be, other than a high paying job or moving into, say, a different country, it could be something like having a better state in your health, or just, a better relationship with someone who you're already in a relationship with, or probably you want to attract a good relationship into your life. Maybe you want to attract good friends, a good house, it can be anything of that sort. So whatever your goal is or whatever you want to attract into your life, you first decide that and you set an intention that yes, this is what I want to achieve, and then you make a ritual around it. Okay, a ritual in a way so that it reminds you and constantly keeps on reminding you of what you desire, or we can call it goals. So I might use goals as a term interchangeably with desires. Okay, so set your goal, set your intention to achieve it, and make a ritual around it. Your ritual could be that every day you write your goals in a notebook. It could be a simple affirmation like, I am super happy to have received a visa to the US, supposing that is what I want. Or, just simply writing that every day will set a reminder for you that this is your goal. You're basically, by doing this repeatedly every single day, you are putting this thought in your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind will then automatically start working in a direction to bring to you to bring to you what you desire in your everyday. Okay, and that is a way in which you can rewire your mind, and the other thoughts that are holding you back from actually achieving your desire will fall away automatically. Okay, now if you want to fasten the process, because this process, while it's definitely effective, it is just one thing. And so generally, if you want to fasten your manifestation process, which basically means you want to deepen your desire and your deservability to achieve that goal, you can do multiple other things like visualization or scripting. Scripting is basically just writing down your visualization. Okay, and basically what you need to do is you need to imagine that you have already achieved what you desire, and then you write down what you feel. Okay, how will you feel when the news comes to you? Who will you share it with? How will you celebrate? What will you do in the celebration? Who all will you tell? Will you write a message? Will you make a phone call? Would you put it on your story? Imagine that entire scenario in your head. And what happens is, when you start imagining how you will feel in that situation, you will be able to understand what are the feelings that you think that, yeah, I obviously should be celebrating with XYZ person. But when you actually go to understand that feeling, you will realize where are the blocks, and that is how you will be able to identify what are the desires or other feelings that are actually blocking you from achieving what you want. And I just want to emphasize on how strong visualization and desires are. And I'll tell you, just a couple of days back, I was discussing with my mom and brother. We were just discussing about these stories, and I'll tell you a couple of stories here. Okay, so the very first one is about Walt Disney. Okay, so we all know Walt Disney. He created the entire Disney and everything, and also Disney World as a physical place, which is just like a theme park kind of a place, right? But I think Walt Disney did not live long enough to see Disneyland being actually made. And so his brother had gone to the inauguration for Disneyland, and there are always some people who like to poke. So there was this reporter who came up to Walt Disney's brother, and he said, I know you're happy today, but I also know that your happiness is not complete. So he's like, no, I mean, what makes you say that? And he's like, because Walt Disney, who actually wanted this place, he's not alive today, and so I know that you might not be so happy about it. And the reply that his brother gave was really nice, and I want you to listen to it. He said, no wonder you are a reporter and not a visionary. And he was a little taken aback, the reporter, and he said, what do you mean? And he's like, Walt Disney saw this place years back, and that is why you are seeing it today. And what I really liked about this, the entire beauty of it is so true, that it was a place that was visualized already in the eyes of Walt Disney before it manifested into reality. Okay, and this is the takeaway I want you to take from here. A lot of us wait in our lives and think, when this thing will be right, when things will be like this, when things have aligned in this way, then I will go out and do it. You don't have to wait to see those things in your reality and then do it. You need to do it already, knowing that this is how it will be, and then you will see it come in your reality. Or if we take the example of Steve Jobs, when he visualized the iPad 2 versus when it came out. Like, he already had a mental picture of what he wanted the iPad or the Mac to look like. And that is when he was able to push, the engineers at Apple to go ahead to revise and to redo the work and come up with that model that we use today. That even though Steve Jobs, it's been so many years since he's died, Apple is just living on that legacy. And but also I want to point out, a lot of times we might not be able to exactly visualize what our end goal would be like. For in the example of Edison, right? So Edison is the person who invented the bulb, but at the time when he thought about it, if you read about him and what he wanted, it started with his desire, where he wanted to do something where even night would feel as bright as day. That was his desire. Okay, and from that point, from that desire, he was actually able to come up and invent a bulb. Now, he could have been disappointed, or he could have thought in a way, I wanted it to be like, as bright as the sun and night, and what will this one bulb do? But really, that was a revolution. From there, we are today where we're using lights like crazy, like all over the place, where it's reached a point of light pollution. There is something called light pollution, where there's too much light on the planet and you're not able to see the light coming from outside. Okay, so it's very important that you visualize, you think about what your end goal would be like. And supposing you don't have a visual picture of it, you bring forth your desire, you bring forth what you feel, what you want it to feel like, and then you just go ahead following that desire. When you focus on that desire every single day, what is going to happen is every other desire that is like, pulling you away from it, it will automatically come to light for you, and you'll be able to release it. Okay, and over here, I'd also like to give you another example. So if you tell me that law of attraction doesn't work for me, and have tried it, and it's not happening. So while I was reading about all these things, another thing that just came to me was, when law of gravity was being tested. And by the way, law of gravity states that the gravitational force is directly proportional to the mass of the object. Okay, it's not dependent on what kind of object it is. What that means is, if I drop a feather and I drop a metal ball of the same mass as the feather, it should fall down in the same time. Okay, so when this was being tested, a feather and a metal ball were actually dropped in a vacuum tunnel. Why? Because if the tunnel was not vacuumed, and if there was some air in it, what would happen would be that, despite the fact the feather and the ball had the same mass, the feather would float on air, right? And it would not reach to the ground in the same time. And so what I want to illustrate over here through this is that the environment really matters a lot. So while the law of attraction very much exists, it's working all the time. If it's not working for you, it's probably because of some external factors, like in the case of the feather, if there was air, then it would float and probably would reach the ground, but would reach much later than it actually could. And if there was actually a tree or something where it got stuck or latched onto, it would never reach its goal or desire, right? So the law of attraction pretty much works in the way that whatever you are thinking, you are feeling, and what is more important is the feeling. Feeling is your emotion, is emotion, energy in motion. Okay, wherever you put your attention and energy to, wherever you direct your emotions to, that is the area that will grow. Okay, so your emotions are actually a very key component when it comes to making the law of attraction work for you. If you're trying to attract something and it's not coming in your life, it's probably because there are some other feelings associated with that goal that you want to attract that are pulling you back. And the way to recognize it is just by doing your manifestation, thinking more about your goal, doing a meditation and thinking about it, do your visualization and feel it, do your scripting, write down how you will feel, you will automatically, start recognizing what are the patterns that are holding you back from achieving that goal. Okay, so this is pretty much all I have to share about law of attraction, how it works. And what I want to hear from all of you is that, have you tried the law of attraction before or no? If you have, just let me know yes in the chat, so that I know how many of you know about it and how many of you have already been using it from before. And if you're new to it, then you can just type new, so that I know this is the first time you're hearing about law of attraction, and I take a lot of responsibility in that case, being the first person to introduce you to law of attraction. So yeah, I want to hear from all of you what it is about law of attraction that you know, or whether it's the first time you're hearing about it. What is it that you expect, and do you think that you can use law of attraction for your benefit in any way? Do you think you can use it to attract your goals, desires, dreams, or anything of that sort? Okay, we got yes, we got I have a basic idea. Yes, manifesting it, and have issues in relationship due to my work commitments going on. Okay, it's working for me. Not new at all. Okay, great. And it's working for me to some extent. All right, great. Thank you for sharing your responses. It's really nice to get, like, an idea of what where you guys are at with your law of attraction. So what we'll do is, now we'll end the live stream on YouTube. Okay, and we'll go back to our Zoom call, we'll have a discussion, and we'll talk about any goals or any dreams, desires that we have, that we want to attract using the law of attraction. Okay, if there is any blockage or any obstacle that we are facing in any particular space in life, and how we can use the law of attraction to actually manifest what we want, right? So just give me a second. With that, I'll end the live stream. Okay, yeah, that's done. And so now here we are